You don't heal the nervous system through logic, okay? You heal it through repetition and consistency. So this means you have to keep getting the same message again over and over and over again into your head to be able to contradict whatever belief, whatever thought that was there that was keeping you stuck in a loop. So what I mean is this. When people experience emotional triggers, what happens is they get tied to feelings, okay, that have been unresolved. And those feelings get tied to beliefs. And those beliefs are keeping them stuck in a loop where they're believing something, and then that belief is creating an expectation. The expectation determines how they see their reality, and that will determine if they're being triggered by all these various things. If they still feel shame in their life, if they still feel they're not good enough, they still feel like they don't deserve love, all these things can affect how the person looks at their life. So you could do all the meditation you want, you could do all the nervous system retraining you want, but if you're not subconscious reprogramming, you're not doing the subconscious reprogramming, you're actually planting thoughts that contradict these old beliefs, they're going to be stuck in a giant circle. So what do I mean, subconscious reprogramming? What I do is completely different with people. What I do is help them extract the emotional triggers that are going on in their day. We'll help them look at the first couple weeks of emotional triggers, see what the main emotional triggers are, then extract the feelings from the emotional triggers, and we'll see what those feelings are tied to what beliefs are keeping them stuck, keeping them sick, keeping them in a loop. And then we have these beliefs that we realize, these negative counterproductive beliefs that are keeping them stuck. And then what do? You go ahead and create a belief that opposes it, something that will resolve that belief, something that's a positive belief, something that makes you feel good about that situation, okay? And then you put it in the audio tape. I help the people create an audio tape in their own voice to be able to recondition their mind, recondition their subconscious. What it does is it creates affirmations of safety in all these different areas. And by removing the concern of fear in these areas, the person can start to let their nervous system calm down and heal, okay? This is what all these other programs are missing. They're not actually planting thoughts that block these negative beliefs in your own mind, in your own voice, okay? This is how your brain learns, is in your own voice, through talking to yourself. So why else, how would you do it any other way? This has been extremely effective for me. I was getting triggered by nearly everything. When I started listening to this audio tape over and over again with these affirmations that go ahead and contradict all this negative stuff in my head, then I started to have mental defense. When I was actually triggered by these emotions, what would happen is this mental defense, these things I heard in the audio would actually pop up right there, right before it would turn into a spider web of negativity, spider web of over-assessment, of being over-analyzing my life, beating myself up, etc. So the reality is, if you want to recondition your nervous system, you have to do it in an active way with consistency and repetition through an audio that you customize to yourself. You customize based upon your emotional triggers, your beliefs, your fears, your feelings, all these things. And you have to be able to go ahead and deal with things like survival, things like identity, things like control, things like self-worth, all the things that are really important. You have